Moving away from oil and gas, you just recently come back from Australia. Maybe if you could just highlight some of the key themes which were coming out from the Australian market.
Okay. When we attended the Down Under conference in Australia in Perth, we've clearly picked up in the discussions with the various mining houses that's there, that Africa is a very important part, of their portfolio. So we've picked up, that, apart from the normal precious metals, that many of us look at, that there's a focus on, on iron ore, there's a focus on mineral sands, in Africa, as well as a bit of focus, again, on the newer type of commodities, like graphite and lithium, etc. We believe that graphite and lithium, when you look at it, it's still, I don't think all banks are necessarily comfortable with those type of commodities, but there's a conscious effort, I think, from everyone to make sure that when you look at those complex geologies, that we understand it, see if projects like that, which is now coming up, and it's all green fields, that if it forms part of a much bigger portfolio of an existing or a new client, that's taken into consideration when we evaluate, involvement in that specific project finance project, etc. So we've seen the Australian entities definitely interested in Africa. We believe Africa is still a very big source of, metal production that will come out. So I think they're very positive about the African countries. But what we've said in the past as well, political environments, stability of rules and regulations and taxes is going to be vital for the success of any country. All of that, all of the things that I've just mentioned have got a big impact on the country rating. So if the IMF, have difficulty in, being positive about a country, that has a ripple effect on the country's ratings from an S&P or a Moody's, and all of that's got to impact, on banks and how banks would rate, certain projects in those countries. So I do think each and every government has got an absolute responsibility to try and create the best investment atmosphere in that specific country that they are running, to make sure that the people ultimately at the end of the day get a benefit of the natural resources.
It's actually interesting to note that, from that visit of yours, I think it speaks to three things which one really needs to look at. One, you do need political certainty. Two, you do need policy certainty. And three, you do need financially viable projects. Does that mean from a Absa perspective, we open for business across the whole continent?
No doubt in my mind that we are open for business. If we are comfortable with a country, comfortable with management of the entity that we are looking, at, for the specific project finance in whichever commodity, I do think each and every project we will evaluate on its own merits, and clearly the country that they're in is going to play a very big role, and open for business in mining metals, oil and gas, as well as looking after the moving around of those commodities across the various borders. I think for us, 2019 was quite an exciting year. We believe 2020 is positive. I think we will all look out for all the elections that's coming up in our various countries in Africa. And again, the stability of those countries will determine a whole lot of investment happening or not.